Greetings from the Eccentric Man, and I thought it was about time we had a channel update. It's been a long time since the last one, so let's get in and see what we've been up to and what we've got planned coming up. The Eccentric Man YouTube channel is kindly sponsored by those nice people at Lost Ark Games in Stevenage. Check them out in-store and online and come down and play games with us. Well, as we say, it's been a bit of a time since the last one, and in that time, well, we've had COVID. That was about a month ago. That knocked us out for a little bit, and we're still getting better from that, which is a bit of a shame. And also, one of my right arm is playing up again. You know, if you're a member of the channel and you've followed it for some time, you know I've had operations on the left shoulder, and the right one was poorly some years ago. So the right one's playing up a little bit, so we've got to get that one investigated. But other than that, it's been pretty busy painting-wise. Gaming-wise, we've had games on Wednesday evenings at Lost Ark Games. Not many games at home for different reasons. I've got to get a new gaming board for the house, and we've just not got round to it. And gaming really is only going to be in the conservatory here where I'm talking to you from. And it's 10 by 10, so once you get a 6x4 board up, it's quite cosy. So we might have to have a look at getting some games which play on a 4x4 that we quite like. So yeah, lots of different things we've been trying out, the game wise and figure wise, and I'll take you through some of the things that I've been working on. I've been helping out Lancer Miniatures. You can find them on the internet. Kevin, who runs it, a good old friend, has been working on a new range of the Spanish Wars of Succession. So we're trying to build up figures to play Blenheim. So I've painted up a British brigade and an Allied brigade, and I'm working on the cavalry brigade now. But I'll show you what I've got done so far. We've also been playing Mortem et Gloriam, and I've been building up a New Kingdom Egyptian army. So I'll show you how far we've got along for that. And we've also started to look at Renatio et Gloriam, the Renaissance period. And I've got a French Huguenot army, and I've been painting that up as well. In the midst of that, I've been working through my Baron's War figures. So I'll do a little few pictures of those. And reading different books, and it's always fatal when you read a book, because if you remember the last books that I started to read, it was on the Canadians in Sicily, and that ended up with the bolt action army of the Canadians. Well, I've been reading Dan Jones's Crusader, and unfortunately it's linked in with the release of Lion Rampant 2. And if you watch the previous video, it's a game of Lion Rampant that we played with my Vikings. However, having watched the Crusaders, I've now got a bug to build a Crusader army for Lion Rampant. So I'll go through that project in a separate video and go through what we've already got for it. So let's have a look at what we've got so far of our 3 projects in 15mm. So this is a centre division of the army, and it is Lieutenant General Prince of Württemberg and Urenstat's division. A couple of brigades. We've got Rantzau's brigade on the left of infantry, and Webb's brigade, a British infantry brigade, and on the hill we've got Brockdorf's brigade of cavalry. So we'll have a little closer look at each of the brigades. So in we go for the Allied brigade. Let's get ourselves set. So here we have 5 regiments, and we've done 6 bases for each regiment. All the flags are what they should be for the unit. There is a very good guide on the internet for this. So we have 5 regiments, but we won't go through all the names. Moving on, we've got a man on a horse. Kevin did have smaller horses when he initially started the range, but he's upgraded them so that they're no longer little ponies. So I've got to redo another couple of generals anyway to get them going. So we move on to the British Brigade, Webb's Brigade. And I will go through the different regiments in this one because they're easier to pronounce. So, from left to right, left front, we have the 1st His Majesty's Royal Regiment of Foot, George Hamilton, 1st Earl of Orkney. To their right is the Queen's Regiment of Foot, Major General John Richmond Webb. To the back on the left, we then have Churchill's Infantry Regiment, Winston Churchill, 3rd Regiment, the Buffs. And to their right, we've got the Thomas Meredith Regiment of Foot, Brigadier General Thomas Meredith. So that's the right-hand British Brigade. If we move further back, we can have a look at the cavalry. So for the main cavalry, we've gone for 3 bases of 3 men on each. And we've got the cuirassier unit at the front, which is the Holstein's Horse Cuirassier Regiment, Colonel Dewitts. Behind them, we have Aelfeldt's Horse Cuirassier Regiment, and we've got Württemberg-Oll's Dragoons at the back. So I've got another 2 cavalry units to put in, but they will just have the tricorn hats. So yeah, all these figures are from Lancer Miniatures, and he's doing a particularly good deal at the moment if you want to check them out online. You've got an army starter set which is running in at the moment with discount at £64, and it is pretty good, so I would suggest having a look if you fancy having a go at this. Yep, so what have we got left? As I said, I've got 2 cavalry units just to paint up, so that'll be, what have we got, 18 figures, and then my British and Allied division will be complete. And then I've said what I'll do is I'll paint up some French. So yeah, that is for the moment, until I start on the other cavalry units, the British and Allied Centre Division, Lieutenant General Prince of Württemberg and Niederstadt. This is the New Kingdom Egyptian Army for Mortem et Gloriam. This is how far I've got so far, and we've got 2 chariot units, so 4 chariots. We've got, going from the left, a unit of medium bowmen. Then we've got close order spears, well, close, I suppose heavy, spearmen in loose order, not close order, so there's only 3 men per base. So we've got 3 units of those, 8 men each, and the front rank of each unit have axes. And then we move on to the Libyan swordmen, and then we have another unit of bowmen. I'll do a bigger army video showcase once I've got everything finished. I've got another unit of 4 chariots to paint up. I've got a unit of Sheridan infantry. I think they have sword and javelin. And then, as I say, did I say 4 chariots more to paint? And then the command chariots. So that'll be another 3 or 4 chariots to paint up. And that'll be the New Kingdom Egyptians finished. So we're working our way through those quite nicely, but as I say, I'll do a whole separate video on them and go through detail and have a look at close up. Now onto the Huguenots. So yeah, I had a Huguenot army way back in the late 80s, which was my tournament list army for going to the Nationals, Roll Call Nationals. Such a long time ago now. Got rid of them, and I've always wanted to do them again. So we've gone for Essex miniatures in the 15mm. And again, I'll do a bigger showcase once I've finished the entire army. But let's have a little look at what we've got. So far up, we've got a Reitzeer unit of pistols and armour. The French millers. They sort of wore white coats and got the name millers, surprisingly, from the dusty miller type thing. So I've got one unit which is superior and one unit which is just armoured. So try to differentiate those. And then we've got a unit of Landsknechts on this side and a unit of dragoons at the back, which I've tried to show are dragoons, so some dismounted and some mounted, for the rules Renatio et Gloriam. So yeah, a little look at the Huguenot army in its infancy as we're going through. Got some more Reitzeers to put in, and I've got shot to paint up, the arquebusiers, and also a couple of guns to paint up. So that should look okay once we've done that. Got a family connection. My wife is a Huguenot descendant, so that's always interested me to learn a little bit about their history and to have one of the armies from the Huguenots. So there we go. So a correction on the name of the book. It is in fact The Templars by Dan Jones. It covers the Crusades, so that's where it got mixed up. But it is The Templars, and it covers the rise and fall. That got me quite excited about starting a new project for the Templars, and for Lion Rampant that we've played a couple of games with. So here's the sort of start of the. These are going to be for the a dismounted foot unit. They are from the Barons' War. I had a unit of 4 you get in the Kickstarter, and then you get the blacksmith as well. So he looked pretty Templar, so I've made him into to one. And there was another knight that looked like a Templar, so that was it. That gives me a unit of 6 elite infantry for the Templars, for the Lion Rampant, if I want to use them that way. So yeah, that's what I've been working on as well. And so, as I say, I've got a whole new project to start. I'll do a separate video for that. And yet another project underway. Nearly finished. The Vikings for Lion Rampant 2. I've got another unit of 12 infantry to paint up to replace the ones at the back, and then build it up to 36 to 40 points. That should do me. Oh yes, and it's Terraintober over on Twitter. So check it out if you're on Twitter. This is my first entry for the month, and it's a little medieval farmstead. So yeah, got that done and sorted. So that's the first one. Got a few more to do. Sorting out a medieval village. If you're at Selwig on Sunday, come and join us. It's at the Lee Valley Athletics Centre. I'll be there with Lost Ark Games playing our bolt action participation game Ding Dong. So it's good fun to have a go at that. So what's for the future on the channel? Well, we're trying to get some more battle reports in. A little bit tricky in Lost Ark because of the noise level on a Wednesday evening with everybody playing. There's normally up to 8 to 9 games going on at the same time, and there's only 2 rooms that are available. Maybe I can get some games in the house, in the conservatory here. It's about 4x4. A 4x4 table would be about the only thing that I could fit in here, really, to get it going. But we'll see how we go, whether we can get anything up. But I've got to get some new tabletops to put on the terrain, so we'll have to get something new for that. Going forward, well, got to finish off these projects. There's quite a few in the on the go at the moment, really. But we can get them finished off. They're not too bad, and hopefully get them finished by Christmas. The 15mm ones. That's the idea. So we've got the Barons' War figures to paint up, which will probably go a little bit on the back burner whilst I'm working on the Templars project, and that video will be coming up fairly shortly. Game systems that we'll be playing. Well, Lion Rampant, I think, for a couple of weeks. I've got a bolt action game next week, so I might be able to video that. It's another game with Slav, So we'll see how that goes. Just depends on the noise volume. I might have to do it in a different format, but we'll see if we can give it a go. We're maybe playtesting a new set of skirmish rules in the club. So we've been asked to do that. So we'll give that a whirl as it is. On the painting side and the army building side, obviously I'm looking at the Templars project, but I've also got an Italian army, which is the new plastic box set, and the Bersaglieri, got those to do, and might have to do a Western sort of Italian army because I've got the desert one, so in the green and the green blue, so that might be useful to do. But I think we're starting to look at now going into the new year for armies. Armies that I was looking to do in the latter part of this year was obviously the epic American Civil War. That I think is going to slip back into the new year, and also the O Group British. I think that may well slip back into the new year. So future purchases, only Confederates at 28mm, I think, and I'm still unsure on what figures range to use. So if you're still with me at this stage of the video, let me know what you reckon is the best range of ACW to go with. We're looking at metals, and I want interesting and characterful figures. So have a think, have a look at your own collection, and let me know what you think are the best set to go for. So yeah, I think that's going to take us into perhaps the new year. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick any comments in the comment section and I'll answer them all. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so and hit the notification button. But until the next one, take care and maybe see you on Sunday at Selweg.